Here's the video 2 where I give you a number line where you have a graph and you need to come up with the absolute value inequality that represents this graph on this number line. So we know these are open dots, so we know that the inequality is not going to have an or equal to underneath it, right? If it's open dots, it does not have a solid line underneath the inequality. Now, there's some notes that I wrote back here. It says that if you have a greater than symbol, the areas will be apart like the word or. Now, you're probably reading this and thinking, hey, Mr. Salgado misspelled that, greater. Yes, I misspelled it on purpose. Kind of like when I say, instead of right side, I say great side to help you remember great. Now, right here it says greater. I put the or right there on purpose because we should remember that the word or implies areas that are apart, correct? So it's this simple. If you have a greater symbol, then your areas will be apart, like the word or. If you have a less than symbol, then we're going to have an area that's together. Does that make sense? So jumping back to 10, is this area apart or is it together? Together. So are we going to have the greater than symbol or the less than symbol? Less than symbol. Does that make sense? Because the greater implies apart, and when the areas are together, it's less than. That's what these notes say over here. The greater than symbol is talking about areas that are apart. The less than symbol is talking about areas that are together. So we could see on number 10, the areas are together, so we're going to have a less than symbol. And this first part of deciding whether you're using the greater than or the less than symbol, that's where you're going to place it right in here into the formula that we've used before. What is this formula? You have the absolute value of x minus your midpoint, okay? And then you put the symbol right here. Now we said that the number line that we had over there, where we were talking about an area that's together, so it's going to be a less than symbol right in here. And if they're open dots, it's just less than. If they were solid dots, it'd be less than or equal to. But anyways, you need to find out what the midpoint is and plug it into this absolute value format with the less than symbol because the areas are together. And you want to find the distance from the point to the midpoint, or from a point to a midpoint. So let's go back to number 10. Whoa. Let me get this guy out of the way. So going back to number 10, we're going to set it up. Let me zoom in a lot because there's not much space. You're probably going to have to write this on a separate sheet of paper or something. But I want to put the absolute value of x minus, well, what is the midpoint? Well, you're here and you're here. One in, one in. Boom, 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 boom. What's the midpoint? 6. So 6 is our midpoint value. So we're going to put the absolute value of x minus 6. Close the absolute value. Now, again, is this area with the or with the and? And, which means less than, not greater, less than. Greater, less than. I hope you guys get that. Yeah? So the or is apart. This is not greater than because it's not going apart. This is less than. So let's put a less than symbol right there. And then the final part of our notes over there, let me show it to you one more time. The final part, the number that you we already got this part down. We already got the symbol. We just needed the number on this side. And what is the number? It says the distance from the point to the midpoint. So what is the distance from the point to the midpoint? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Or backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't matter. The distance from the point to the midpoint is 5. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. You're done. That is your absolute value inequality that produces this graph up here. Cool? Let's try one more time on number 12. So on number 12, we're going to set it up. Absolute value of x minus, how do I get this number in here? How do I get this number in here? Midpoint? Okay, so what would be the midpoint of these guys? Let's see, one in, boom, 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 right there. Midpoint is -3. Right there's a midpoint. So I'm going to put in a -3 in here, which is actually going to change it to +3 at the end of it all. And are these areas, is it an and or is it a greater? Greater, right? It's apart. It's going that way or that way, so greater is the symbol that we're going to be using. Greater. And these do look like solid dots. Am I reading that right? Are these solid dots?
Yeah.
These are open, these are solid, so I need a solid line underneath my greater than symbol. And the number that's on this side, according to our notes, it says it's the distance from a point to the actual midpoint. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's put a 4 right there. And ladies and gentlemen, we are done. Could somebody check that, please, on the back side? Hopefully I got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So it's really that easy to do. I hope you guys could do 11 and 13. Is there any other ones that you would like to see before we end this video? Like 6, 7, 8, or 9? Or are we good? We're good. All right. This stuff will be on the test Friday. Good luck.